In 2019, three founders, a marketer, a banker, and an apparel veteran pooled $3,000 to sell a basic t-shirts. Fast forward to today, they've hit a $300 million run rate with only 60 employees. That is $5 million in revenue per head. For an apparel brand, those numbers are ridiculous. They're in 460 target locations and they've built a $1 billion roadmap. But here's the thing. True Classic isn't an apparel company. It's a customer acquisition machine that happens to sell t-shirts. The truth is that the shirts mattered. But the real advantage was how they monetized customers. Look, most brands selling basic t-shirts are invisible. True Classic sells the same cotton everyone else does and somehow outspends brands 10 times their size on Meta. So in this video, I'm breaking down the exact 5 moves True Classic used to scale from a $100 a day ad spend to a global omnichannel empire. And more importantly, I'm showing you the Steal This framework so you can use these exact same AOV levers on your store today. But I have to be honest, this almost didn't happen. In 2021, a $40 million ego bet nearly turned True Classic into a ghost story. It was a car crash in slow motion. But to understand why it happened, how they survived, and how after that they built a $300 million empire in the first place, you have to understand the product hack they used to trick the math of the t-shirt. In 2018, Ryan Bartlett was obsessing over one problem. Why do men's shirts always fit wrong? He realized that 99% of men don't want to be on a runway. They just want to look slightly more fit without having to go to the gym every day. The innovation was that simple. Make it tight on the arms and chest to show off the work, but keep it loose on the gut to hide the beer. It's not fashion, it's confidence in a box. But Ryan knew a great product wasn't enough. He needed the right people around it. He brought in Nick Ventura, an apparel veteran who knew the cut and sew world, and Matt Winnick, a finance brain to keep the math disciplined. So in 2019, they pulled $3,000 of personal savings, just $1,000 each, to launch one product. A crew neck tee in 6 colors. Ryan started Meta ads at just $100 a day. By month 1, they hit $26,000 in revenue. That was the signal. The stack was complete and the math worked. 2020 was the accelerant. They bootstrapped to $15 million in revenue by reinvesting every single profit dollar back into ads. By 2021, they were doing $90 million. They were a rocket ship, but they were flying blind. Thinking the growth would never end, they placed the ego bet. They ordered t-shirts worth around $40 million in inventory. Then the math machine broke. If you're new to ads, you have to understand. Before 2021, the Facebook algorithm was a sniper. It knew exactly who was ready to buy a t-shirt. You put $1 in, and the sniper found you $3 in sales. It was predictable. But then Apple dropped iOS 14. They asked users if they wanted to be tracked, and 95% said no. Overnight, the sniper went blind. This is where the math turned deadly for True Classic. They had $40 million in inventory. And in e-commerce, inventory is just frozen cash. You can't pay a bank loan with t-shirts. As their ads became 2 times more expensive, the debt came due. They were weeks away from bankruptcy with millions of shirts sitting in a warehouse and no way to sell them. Most brands would have folded. But True Classic realized they had one massive advantage: $40 million worth of fuel. They didn't see the shirts as debt anymore. They saw them as the ultimate weapon to fix their unit economics. They spent the next 18 months making the numbers work again. They stopped optimizing purely around ROAS and started focusing more on contribution margin. They realized that if it now cost them $40 to acquire one customer, they couldn't afford to sell a $20 shirt. They had to sell hundreds worth of shirts every single time. They used that massive mountain of inventory to test every bundle, every discount, and every psychological trigger they could test. They turned their Shopify store into a customer acquisition machine that didn't care about sniper ads. By the time they emerged, they hadn't just survived. They had built a playbook that allowed them to outspend every other competitor. Now let's look at the actual store systems they used to scale to a $300 million run rate. Look at this bestseller page. When you land here, you aren't on a single shirt. You're on the 6-pack bundle. They're showing you a safe $89 badge immediately. As a buyer, you start doing the math. You see the 3-pack saves you $34. But then look at what happens when you click single shirt. It's $35 for one t-shirt. They aren't asking you if you want a bundle. They're making it the only logical choice. Buying one shirt feels like a mistake. Now look at the cart. I just added the 6-pack. And look at this progress bar at the top. Add 1 cent more to get free shipping. This is genius. As a customer, I immediately think, why would I pay $7 for shipping when I can just get more stuff? This is where the upsell engine kicks in. Right below the checkout button, they're showing me add-ons like boxers. They know I already bought 6 shirts, and now my brain starts thinking, why pay for shipping when I can just grab a few more things instead? So suddenly adding boxers feels more rational than paying the shipping fee. They've engineered their pricing so that the mid-level bundle forces you to look at the upsells. It's a psychological nudge that turns a shipping expense into an AOV win. They aren't just selling clothes, they're protecting their contribution margin by making you buy your way out of a shipping fee. And here is the final boss move, the membership. Look at this red button, add membership now. It's only $1 a month. Most people think, why would a $300 million brand care about $1? But in reality, it's not about the dollar, it's about locking you in. Look at the benefits. You get free shipping for a year, an extra 10% off today, and 10% back in store credit. Do the math, you're spending $12 for the year, but you get $13 in store credit immediately. They are literally paying you $1 to join their club. Why? Because once you're a member, you aren't going to look at other t-shirt brands. You're coming back here to use your discounts and credits. Over time, this kind of retention strategy makes the business much less reliant on constantly buying new traffic. They've also added a $3 upsell for package protection and sustainability. By bundling insurance with sustainability, they make it an emotional no-brainer. This is pure margin. If 50% of their 6 million customers opt in, that's millions of dollars in extra profit with zero extra inventory cost. And right as you're about to pay, they hit you with one last curveball, the mystery deal. Look at the text, up to 83% off. They are offering a 3-pack of mystery tops for $25. Most merchants see old inventory as a liability. They put it on a clearance page where it dies. True Classic treats it as an impulse buy at the most critical moment, the checkout. By framing it as a mystery, they do 2 things. First, they gamify the experience. Customers love the "what will I get" surprise. Second, they solve their inventory rot. They can use these mystery packs to offload whatever colors or styles aren't moving, and they do it at a price that feels like a steal to the customer, but still protects their bottom line. True Classic proved that if your offers are strong enough, you can spend aggressively on ads and still stay profitable. But bundles alone didn't take them from $100 million to $300 million. Yes, higher AOV gave them room to survive expensive traffic, but they also understood that the cheaper the attention, the more aggressive they could scale. You see, a lot of apparel brands run the same playbook. Attractive model, white background, buy now. Meta sees low watch time, low engagement, and punishes them with a high CPM, meaning they pay more money to reach fewer people. True Classic went the opposite direction. Instead of running ads, they started making skits, actual comedy content that people watched, shared, and tagged their friends in. The algorithm doesn't know the difference between an ad and entertainment, it just measures how long people watch.
True Classic's new Pima cotton t-shirt will bring your wardrobe back to life.
High watch time means Meta thinks it's good content, so it distributes it to more people for less money. Their customer acquisition cost drops while their reach goes up. In 2023, Ryan Bartlett didn't buy a Super Bowl ad, he bought school supplies. He went on X and asked teachers to drop their Amazon wish lists in the replies. This wasn't an intentional marketing strategy or a planned PR stunt, it was just genuine goodwill. But once the video started spreading, the internet did the rest. Millions of views, a Fox Business feature, and thousands of people discovering the brand through something genuinely positive instead of another paid ad. And over time, moments like that built something bigger than reach, a brand people actually remembered. Every single month, True Classic donates 40,000 shirts to communities in need. Most brands would call this a charity expense. True Classic calls it inventory management and brand building at the same time. That stock sitting in a warehouse costs money, storage fees, depreciation, write-offs. By donating it, they eliminate that cost, generate press coverage, and build the kind of brand reputation that money genuinely cannot buy. The shirts that would have been a liability become a brand asset. And then there's the move most brands completely ignore: customer service. Every support agent has a weekly wow budget. No red tape. If a customer is having a hard time, the agent can send a gift or a handwritten note on the spot. Why does a $300 million brand care about handwritten notes? Because the math is brutal. Acquiring a new customer on Meta costs anywhere from $20 to $40. Keeping an existing customer happy enough to buy again costs a fraction of that. Every customer they wow is one less customer they have to replace. Over time, those moments build something bigger than paid ads, a brand people actually remembered and came back to. And in 2026, that's one of the biggest advantages a DTC brand can have. And when you zoom out, the whole system starts making sense. Create content people actually want to watch. Make bundles the default, turn shipping into an upsell opportunity. Lock customers in with retention offers, and use checkout to clear dead inventory instead of hiding it on clearance pages. Today, over 100,000 Shopify merchants use these same AOV and retention systems through Kaching apps. The links are in the description. And if you want to build these same systems into your own Shopify store, that video is on screen right now.